Hey everybody, Jay here. I know you guys were expecting a video of my dad falling or hurting himself, but I actually wanted to take this time to explain that the video you're about to watch is actually a two-parter. So as soon as this video is done, go ahead and just hop on over to the next one. And hopefully you guys, thank you for viewing, and hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Oh man. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Two Cents, the show where if JB Mooney came on, my dad would probably adopt him. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today we have a very special guest, Blake Couch. He is one of our friends, and he is here to talk to us about his new training system that he's got. So, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day before it starts raining.
Yeah. It started raining earlier. So
On and off, man. I just washed the truck, the lowrider, and the bike, and then the rain started hitting. So I'm like, cover him up. Yeah, it's usually the way it goes with me.
Well, so again, that's what I was saying. Blake is here to talk to us about his new training stuff. But before we do that, we'll get a little bit of background on what you do or what your background is on that stuff, and just kind of start from the top wherever you want to go, or however you want to start to.
I'm from Texas, Fort Worth to be exact. Lived here in Amarillo. Parents were separated, so my dad had to get away from her, which I'm kind of jealous. So I had to get stuck with her. So back and forth between Fort Worth and Amarillo growing up. So my stepdad, thank God for him, he was kind of a big role model. He was in the military. He was Army for 27 years. Yeah. My real dad, he was a police officer, still is. So growing up, I kind of had to fight for their love, like, which one would I want to be like. And so I was like, you know what? One wants me to go in the military. One wants me to be in law enforcement. And then as I got older, I was like, screw it. I want to go fire department. And, well, after high school, after partying, and, every other teenager does, stepdad came in and said, if you're going to live under this roof, you're going to go to the military. I was like, yeah, right. And then just like a teenager, I had a girl get pregnant. So I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I joined the military.
You joined the military.
So
the one place you can think you can get away, but they're going to find you because it's the best place to be.
Yeah.
Eventually.
But, just like some of those younger privates who get in, they want to get married, they want to get engaged, and that was me. And then come to find out that there's a lot more fish in the sea, and I couldn't keep my bait in the tackle box. So, and then after that, I decided to go scout. My stepdad, he wanted me to do something that when I finally get out, that I could do something in the civilian world if I chose to do that route. Still being young and rebellious, I saw a job that I was like, he didn't want me to do, so I chose that one.
Sweet.
So I went scout, which what scouts do, it's basically more than the infantry for those other viewers out there who are infantry.
Yeah.
Just to ruffle the feathers.
Nice.
First in, last out. Scout, what they do is they do a lot of reconnaissance. Whether it's mechanized or light, I was lucky to be a light scout starting off. Got to actually do land nav, vehicle movements, be out on foot. So when I deployed the first time, we got assigned with 5th Group Special Forces. Mm-hmm. We did some training with those guys, and we mainly worked with SEAL Team 1 up that was out there.
Sweet.
So we got a lot of good training with those guys. Came back. Right before I went to Fort Hood, I got to go again back to Afghanistan. It was on the PSD where we go and pull security for a high value, like a colonel or something. So we go out there. It was a cakewalk. It was a vacation. All we did was spend more time in the gym than we ever did outside the wire. So tax-free money. Couldn't hate it.
How many? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. How many tours did you do? Or
just 2.
Just 2 tours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just those one. So one was the 9-month tour, and then the other one was 4 months, which we left early. It was supposed to be a 9-month tour, but he decided to come back. He was retiring. Just one more under his belt. I didn't mind it. We getting paid for it. So.
Sweet.
That was before I had my son. But then while I was in the Army getting ready to get out, I did have my son. And that's what made me get out of the military because I missed his birth because, military, thanks North Korea. They fired rockets at South Korean tires, which stopped all the flights, all personnel from going home.
So, man.
Couldn't go see my son being born. So Kim Jong-un, you're on my shit list. But for him, it's one of the reasons why I got out. A lot of people ask me, well, why haven't you become a police officer? Why haven't you done this? Well, custody, coming back and forth, that took a lot to do with it. And
Perfect.
The Army took enough time, and I'm not going to choose enough time to miss out more on him.
Mhm.
Border Patrol was on the option, but now that I'm going to have them a year on, year off, kind of throws that out because my son's time to me is more important than what I want to go do.
Of course.
Which kind of leads me into what I want to do now.
Yeah,
So that's the question I was going to get to you. What made you have this idea of saying, you know what, this is what I want to do, but how to do it, like how to come about learning as far as saying, because from what I understand, there's not too many. There's not how many of these particular businesses or companies that do this.
There's not a lot. Now there are some gun ranges out there that have it, but they don't promote it, and it's kind of hard to actually do some of those different types of scenarios. And especially with law enforcement, they have the equipment. That's like a bigger city. That's like Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, all these bigger cities that have this capability of doing it. It kind of shuts out all the smaller departments.
Oh. Okay.
So, like for instance, there's Haltom City. They're a growing department, but they still have to get the money in to go do certain things.
So they gotta put it in their budget.
You have to put it
to
in
be
their
able
budget.
to send so many people that they gotta send.
Yeah, and that takes time because I mean you have people on the street, plus you have people that are off duty, then you have those other officers that life happens, whether they're having a baby, they're getting married or something like that. So they have to plan ahead and they have to put it in their budget for it.
Yeah, and usually it takes a couple of years, within a year, to get the budget. If it's the same like the fire
well, it's like a
department,
yearly budget.
right?
You have to put
gotta
it in.
Plan all that.
But the
for
thing
a
is,
year.
with this, it's only in the state of Texas, and I can't speak for the whole nation, but just coming from what my father's told me, it's required 80 hours every 2 years of training. So you have officers on the street that maybe in 1 year they'll only have 40 hours of just certain training. So you got to think in the whole entire year in 40 hours, you get crammed all this training, and then you're expected to learn everything else on the street. So, and I think that would what I want to do. Let's give the viewers kind of the idea,
let's go into what
so that way they can understand what we're talking about. I'm creating something that's like reactive training, self-defense with your weapon. I'm going to teach you how to fight with your weapon. Even if you don't know how to operate a weapon, I'm going to try to show you my way, and that way it makes you feel comfortable of using this weapon. So there's many styles that you can use, and the best one is what is comfortable for you. What is going to make you feel more comfortable? What is going to make you feel more confident in operating that weapon? Now, some of this will have learning basis, stuff like that. But if you're like a fire department veteran, law enforcement, even military, active duty military, or any 3-letter agency, like he says, HEB, CIA, FBI. This is going to help you get more training at a lower budget. Because I already spent the budget to bring it to you. You just got to come to it now. So This is going to be whether you want to practice target shooting or you want to practice stress shoots. Shoot, don't shoot type scenarios.
All right, so target shooting. Let's start there. Target shooting. What does that mean? What is
target
for
shooting?
A guy like me? I'm not law enforcement or anything. So what do you mean target shooting?
Targeting. So if you go to the range, you set up your target, right?
Okay.
You have a silhouette. You have kind of like a bullseye setup. I can do this on the simulator. And all this can be done.
So we're moving into the bones of the structure of what you got. So you can do it at anybody's house.
Anybody's house.
You come to them and set up, and you can do target shooting.
You can do target
if
shooting.
You just want to do target just to
you just want some range time and you just want to shoot, you can do it. Just kind of practice. Because if you go to the range, a lot of people like to do is they like to draw from the holster.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and a lot of rangers are going to be like, hey, we don't recommend that because it's kind of like that thing, monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. Well, if that guy's doing it, then I should be able to do it. But I don't know your background. So I don't know if you're like law enforcement or a competition shooter. And then here I am, just an early beginner, and I see that, and I was like, oh, that's neat. Maybe I should practice that. And then you start having a lot of accidents because they're not picking up high enough. Okay. They already have their finger on the trigger, or they're new. So my way is it's a smokeless range, which means there's no live ammo. So it's all done by an IR laser.
What's the second one you teach? You teach the target,
So I'll
And
teach
then-
the target shooting, and then there is reactive training, which is
Okay,
the
what is
shoot,
that?
don't shoot type scenarios. So a lot of people have that theory, or they'll see a cop handle a situation they shot, and they're like, I wouldn't have shot. Well, here's your chance to see, what would you do?
You know, the question always comes up
Mhm.
because it happened to me. Believe it or not, it did. I had somebody break into my house, or not my house, my truck, and I caught him red-handed.
Mhm.
And there's so many things. And you're correct. People can say it. People, you know, you can say this is what I'll do. This is, you know, oh man, I better not catch anybody. But until it really happens to you, the amount of things that you got to think,
Mhm.
even just by even just confronting the individual, it is. I mean, I had the individual
Mhm.
in my crosshairs.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I had him
Yeah.
in my truck, had my gun on him,
Mhm.
but the little voice in the back of my head still told me I can't just shoot this guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what you're talking about. You're talking
Yes.
about people spur of the moment. What will you be? What
That-
will
Split,
you
that-
read?
that-
split
that's-
second
that-
decisions.
That's a really good thing to teach, because again, it goes back to what he's saying, and a lot of people do this. They can
Mhm.
sit there and BS and just say, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that, but you're not in that situation, so don't speak on that person's behalf saying what you could have done, what you're not gonna. It's like saying you're sitting there going, well, you know, you're watching what's that one show on Discovery Channel, the survival show, they go out there, they just strip them people naked and they throw them out there naked and afraid. And you're sitting there in the AC, you know, eating chips, going, what a loser. You know, I would have done this. No, you don't do that. You just
Well,
don't.
that's like
But-
when people watch John Wick. They see
Yeah.
him
Yeah,
operating.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, man, that's a movie. Well, if everyone would look further into it, Keanu Reeves actually spends a lot of time practicing his movements, his techniques, and stuff like that. And with that being said, is this isn't like a cool, I'm gonna go learn from this guy. One session, hey, I'm good to go. I can do it just like this. It's not. You gotta keep doing it repetitive. So just like in the military, we're constantly training every day.
Mhm.
Even if we're not out in the field training, there's a thing that's like, hey, what are y'all doing? You're not sitting in here, you know, jacking around. Go learn something. Go teach something. So as an NCO, we would take, hey, go draw your rifles out. We're gonna go out here. We're gonna start practicing battle procedures, because I was one of those guys right before we went on our first deployment. I was like, man, if they shoot at me, oh, I'm gonna smoke them. So by the time we got our first contact, we started getting fired at. I'm on the back of the side of the Mat V, and I'm smiling because I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I got that going on that I'm sitting here like this, and everything's going around. And this is only it felt like 30 seconds. It was probably like maybe 10. But I'm sitting here going like this, like smiling, and everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're getting shot at. You know, like, we're getting shot at. And they're like, yeah, stupid, return fire. You know? But then after that, everybody was all like, hey, don't worry, Couch is going to get them. You know, hey, Couch has got him. So that was the running joke for a while. And then it happened again. And it took a long time before it happened. But even then, we were still, even in theater, we were still practicing. We were still running, you know, our situations, you know, hey, what are we going to do if this happens? So we were still training while
So
this was
you can
while we were
safely
waiting.
say you can never be too prepared,
You can never
but-
be too prepared.
but it's always good to prepare
It is.
Yeah.
because you got to be able
Mm-hmm.
to be able to cut down on your reaction, know your magazines, know your guns, know where you even have them.
And
Because I know some people, like, you know, something happens, you see them on TV all the time.
Mhm.
Oh, something happened. Okay, let me go get my gun. It's in the closet, in the back, in the middle. They forgot the combination and everything.
Yep.
So again, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And you know what it does, and that's what brought, you know, more of the idea, is because law enforcement, they only do a certain amount of time within a year span, and these officers, they're not training every day. Now, some of them, and I'm not trying to, you know, say, you know, officers don't practice. A lot of them do go to the range on their own time, but there's a lot of officers that are out there that
Yeah, but if
they
go-
have an allotted budget for ammo.
Uh,
And there's a lot of officers who don't take upon that free ammo to go shoot. Now, I'm only speaking on certain counties that I know of.
well,
Not all.
yeah, but again, what your company's doing is you're putting an officer's training to the test,
Yes.
not just shoot at the range.
Yeah.
You know, because again, I can shoot at the range 20 times, 30, 100, 50. that just means I'm good with my shot.
Mm-hmm.
But do I know how to what do you call it?
Do you know how to reload? Do you know how to do a functions
Yeah,
check?
but do I know my situation awareness?
Yeah.
If I'm coming up to a car, do I know my situation
Mhm.
awareness to determine, okay, my spidey senses are
Yep.
coming up. So
Yeah.
that's what part of your training does.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is to look not only firing but assess situations
Mm-hmm.
and know what to watch.
And the best thing about I spent the extra money on for this is because I can create my own videos. So, and the one thing that my dad said is the hardest one to even prepare for is that first initial contact.
Yeah.
Is when you're stepping out of that vehicle and you're walking up to that vehicle, and whether they have tinted windows or you can see them or not, or if it's just dark, that initial contact is that most of like what is going to happen. Am I prepared? That's why you'll see a lot of officers, they'll go back and they'll touch the vehicle. There's a reason for it. Or a lot of them are, they'll go and they'll put their hand on their weapon just because they don't know. Now, it could be a good person in that car and someone's looking like, why has he got his hand on the gun? You know, they're looking in the mirror. They're like, what did I do? They don't know, because there are individuals out there who could care less about the lives around them just because they want to get away.
Yeah.
And they don't know if that back window's going to get shot out,
Mhm.
or if there's other occupants in there. Who knows? The driver could be a good person, but that driver could be held by 3 other people that are armed to the T, that outgun that officer, and next thing you know, there's a firefight.
You know, it brings me back to the same thing. Firefighters. I used to be a volunteer
Mhm.
firefighter, and we used to go through the smokehouse.
Mhm.
And one of the things is they used to send you through, and they used to do pit alley and all that stuff. But the reason you would do that constantly, you know, over and over, retrain, was because you can learn it once. But like he says, a lot of these officers, they might not see actual training like that till another 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
All their training's
Mhm.
out in
They're
the
on the
street.
streets.
So your reaction to whatever you're looking at as a firefighter is, you kind of know, you're walking in, you can see the fire, you know what it's going to do, you can see it where it's going, you know your angle of attack
Mhm.
just by noticing the fire and whatnot. Police officers, you know, I go back to again to all the people that these critics and say, you know, I'm the first to ask the same question, and nobody has asked this question. Everybody wants officers to go through more training. Isn't that what we hear in the news?
Yeah.
That's all we hear.
Oh, we do,
Officers
yeah.
need to go through more training. They need more training for the officers. What nobody asks, and this is the important thing, is what training are you talking about? There is none.
Mhm.
You can only have,
There is no such thing as training until now
Mhm.
that we see him
yeah.
having this setup where you can interact and make it affordable and make it where you don't have to leave your house. I'll go to you.
So this is how it started out. It is starting off mobile to where I can come to you, whether we can set up on a projector or we can set it up on your TV. If you don't have the room large enough for the projector, we can download it to where we can set it up to your TV, and then we can sit there and you can run the same thing. So that's the beauty of it, is I can take it anywhere, whether you want a bachelor party and you just want to have fun.
And then
and,
for the
start
fun,
start drinking, that's where the
nice,
fun
nice.
can kick in.
Okay, so now
Nice.
show us the guns, because I know
Okay.
you brought
Yeah,
some
yeah.
equipment, and
So-
everybody's thinking live fire. Show
Yeah.
us their equipment here.
So
'cause
this
Yeah.
is just one of the different sets that I have. So right here, this simulates a Smith & Wesson,
Yeah.
and then, or this one's the Glock, I'm sorry. And the magazine does come out, so you can do practice, but the slide doesn't come back, and it's just an IR. So, but it still has the night sights, and you can go, and I can actually set it up to where it can sound. There's a speaker in here to where it'll sound like live fire. So if you want to hold that one, and this one is the Smith & Wesson, same thing. Magazine comes out, it feels like a weighted round. That way you can load it, and still same thing. It has night sights, it has a speaker on there, and this is just the generic guns
Yeah.
for it.
So this is you can use this for training,
This is for training.
or you can
Or-
also use it for if you have a party, a bunch
Or-
of guys want to hang
or-
around.
Or like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
where I
Do some
didn't make
shooting.
sure I put the
This
magazine in
is-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just one of the different sets that I have. Now here's the fun ones, because it's a different one. Now this one's gonna have to take green gas like you would use on those high powered airsoft guns. So this one is it's gonna be a Glock. So this is the big frame, and then I
Oh,
have
wow.
the Sig,
Yeah.
which is a smaller frame carry in case if the Glock's too big, you can have
Nice.
this one. The slide does come back, magazine does come out, and as you can see, this is where the gas would go to help simulate like a live fire. There's that one. And this one's the Glock. Looks just like like a real thing. Besides, you have thing back there. Now here's the best thing about this one is on this style, when you're aiming, it still has that IR just like those other ones I showed you. But if I were to go and point, this is what happens. It simulates the recoil. So you do have that slide motion. You can, and I do have multiple magazines to where after you fire, you can drop your magazine,
Reload.
come back, reload, and you can even, if you want to, you can simulate, charging it back. That way you can get back and you can start firing again.
That's pretty
Now,
sweet.
this is what's good to me is where if you're new to shooting and you're new to guns and you're kind of scared about going to the range for the first time, this is going to be good about practicing your hand placement, where you can put your hands, because a lot of people they like to throw their thumb back here. They don't realize that when that slide comes back, it's not going to stop because your thumb's there. It's going to move back.
And so I'm gonna stop you for that right now. So a lot of people think, oh, that's a
I hope.
that is a what is it that's a rookie move,
Mm-hmm.
putting your hand behind, right?
Yeah.
You would think that. I've seen it, and here's the thing: many times he's shot guns, no, all the time.
I mean,
something went down.
he was there when George Washington got his first firearm, so he knows about this stuff
Oh,
really
yeah,
well.
man.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
No,
All ammunition there.
you don't have the
It doesn't
reloader?
know what the
No,
no man. It's
It's 2025 now.
No, but seriously, I had the guy, and he's shot guns before.
Mhm.
Like one of them things is, oh man, if something were to happen, I know what to do. Da, da, da. Well, something did happen. Right back there, and he didn't shoot, but everybody caught it.
Yeah,
Everybody caught it.
which is good because he could have had a bad day. That thumb,
You see what I mean?
could have been ripped
Yeah.
out.
But-
But that's what they
but-
call a slide bite because
Yeah.
yeah.
But again, he shot this gun many times, thought he was a pro, but when something happened, and we caught it, and we told him, dude, did you see where you had your hands?
Mhm.
And he didn't even know because the adrenaline.
Yeah.
That's what we say. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
What would you do if somebody would break into your house? What would you do as a lady? My wife owns a gun. What would you do if your husband's not home, you're the only one there, it's your house. This is what I love about this, because he comes to your house, and you can literally set up your self-defense. He can teach you the tactics
Mhm.
at your house, what to use, what walls to be on, what furniture you can use maybe to block, to hide yourself or pin yourself over, closets, whatever. This is what I like about it, because he can literally has the experience to go through and say this will be my what is it, defend point, if you
Yeah.
want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to defend it from here because I know
Yeah.
I'm blocking everybody. Because a lot of times we don't think, and then it does come up, and I'm sure you can say something about this. Do you know where your rounds are going to go if you just fire? Because remember,
Mhm.
if you have other people in the house that are sleeping, do you know where their bedrooms are at? Do you know where their beds are at? Because you might shoot at the burglar, and the bullet will go right through and might hit somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
about being aware of what are you loading into your weapon. So that's what's part of that other training about when you do home defense training. It's going to talk about your ammunition. There's a difference between the hollow points and then your range ammo. So with knowing your house, so that's the best thing about training in your own home. And I bring this to you is your house. If I were to go inside your house and I make a noise, you know exactly where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at because I'm in here trying to figure out what you got
Yeah.
for me to take. So as I make noise, I make a noise in your house, you know exactly what I'm doing. At this point, you grab your weapon. Do you know what you have loaded in there? Is it hollow points or range ammo? Now, let's go with, say you have range ammo, just because it was cheap ammo, you had it, you just wanted to put something in there that way in case. What you run that risk of doing is, let's say that I'm in the hallway where the girls, say that you're watching your grandkids, I'm in that hallway, but you know where I'm standing. If you were to shoot me and where my silhouette is with range ammo, it can go in and it can also go out and continue until it hits an object that's going to stop it. Now, hollow points are meant to hit the target and stay in. So if you're using range ammo and you don't know, you run that risk of not only shooting me, but hurting someone else behind you. Just like if you had the hollow point, even then you still want to be careful because there's always that what if.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can bring them over and hold them down just to draw them away. Once he's in the clear and that threat presents itself again, because remember, it's got to be a threat. So you can't just go in here just because they're in your house and start shooting them.
Right.
Because if I don't have a weapon, you can put me at gunpoint. I don't know. If I start charging at you while I'm in your home, that's one thing. If I don't have a weapon in my hand and I'm giving up and I'm surrendering to you, cool. You get someone else on that line, you call 911, you let them know, hey, I had to brandish my weapon in my home. I got this guy. Come get him. And then when that threat happens, if I oppose that threat, you do what you need to do to eliminate the threat. So when I say that is, I'm not telling you to shoot the person to kill them. I'm telling you to shoot to stop the threat in the need if you have to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, well, I got the castle law. Castle law protects that. I can shoot you if I want. If that's the risk you want to take, go ahead. But if being that cocky is worth all that legal stuff, then, hey, more power to you. I'm not here to tell you exactly what to do in a situation. I'm here to prepare you for a situation.
Exactly.
And by no means am I here to give any type of legal advice. I would give the advice that I would use in my own home for my own life, because I'm going to be cautious about it. Because again, I got out of a job that I love near and dear, that I was really good at, for my son, just so I can spend more time. So to me, that matters. So which means me having a firearm, me using it, I'm going to be damn sure if I'm using it, it's because there is a threat.
Yeah.
To maybe not only just me, but if there's a threat around, because I'm one of those people that if a threat presents itself, I'm not going to go looking for a threat, but I'm going to make sure I protect whoever's around me.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, I don't know if you have a gun, they have a gun, and sometimes all this can get confused with, we're in Texas. Everybody probably, has a gun on them. And, if the unfortunate situation happens and we're at the mall or something and an active shooter happens, people are like, well, why was he shooting, or why were these people having guns? Well, you also have to keep in mind about the signs. Was there a sign on the mall? They updated now constitutional carry should have 30-09 up and standing there, which means they'll have it. And some of those signs were like, hey, you can carry if you have your concealed carry, but now there's constitutional carry. So you can carry if you want. But some businesses will put up there saying, listen, even though this is out there, if you want to carry here, you got to have a concealed handgun license. So you got to be mindful of where you're walking into, especially if you see a big red sign that says 51%. That means they sell 51% of their sales as alcohol. You can't have it.
Yeah.
And also, another thing too is if you have a sip of alcohol, you better not have your weapon on you, because that is unlawful carry, and that's a Class A misdemeanor.
See, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Know that at all.
More we know.
With all this is what I can do is, so again, you want to have fun, you want to drink beer, have fun, I can bring it. You can shoot guns, hey,
and
I got the guys
safe.
coming up, and everybody is safe.
Yeah.
And everyone's having fun. You can do different types of scenarios. But the best one is, what is going to benefit you? And the one that's going to benefit you is, how are you going to protect your family? Not only yourself. And then even then, gun safety. I'm going to offer free gun safety classes, because I'm not going to charge you for, being safe. To me, that's dumb. All these people, come learn this. No, it's free. Like the one thing I did with my son, because I have a lot of guns, and every time I got a gun, I brought it to my son and I let him touch it. I cleared it. He knows, point it in a safe direction, clear it, make sure the magazine's dropped, pull the slide back, make sure it's clear. I let him mess with it then right in front of me, because I'm introducing it to him. Once he's done, he's got his fix. Now he's not curious. Hey, what's that black box that dad has that he's putting up there? Now the curiosity's in that child, where he's like, I'm going to go look to see what it is.
Back in my day,
Forward 7 years ago.
Like after
No.
after
But it's so
1776 or before, or
but it's so true, because what he's saying. See, I'm a firm believer that I have guns too, But I'm a firm believer. I leave my guns out. I know where they're at. I don't hide them. I don't put them in a closet. I don't do that. And here's why. Again, this is personal choice. Back in the old days, my grandpa's, back then, if they had a gun, and even now, if you look at movies, old movies, every time they had guns, where did the guns work? Where were they? They were either hanging on top of the mantle
yeah.
or above the door.
Oh, they're on
Yeah.
their holster belt, hanging right.
Or
there
they
above
were
the door.
hanging right there, right? To me, again, maybe I'm going to get backlash on this. I don't know. This is my personal opinion that when you hide the gun, when do you know the gun's missing?
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing about it is I've seen it in many TV series, movies, and everything. The cop, the juveniles, they kill somebody or whatever. They find the register of the gun, whoever it was. They go back to the parent, to the house. They knock on their door and they tell them, "Do you own a 38 or do you own a revolver? Do you own this gun?" And they're like, "Yeah, why? Do you mind if we see it?" I have it in the closet. It's locked up. Can we see it? Then they go, they digs it out, finds the key, opens it up. Oh my God, it's missing.